welcome to Matt's Garage. Today we're going to be talking about K&N Air Filters and why I don't like to use them. This is my mom's 2003 PT Cruiser Turbo that we recently purchased, and I'm just getting it all caught up on the maintenance, so I was just going to replace the air filter element, and I noticed it had this K&N filter in it. And I thought it was a real good opportunity to talk about what I think about these filters, because I've run across them a few times and I've really had a good opportunity to form a solid opinion on them. Now, K&N's put a lot of effort into marketing these as a lifetime filter that you can clean and reuse, and they've also promoted the fact that you get better fuel economy and more power out of them. And I mean, that might be somewhat true, but the one thing I don't like about them is their ability to actually filter the air going into your engine. I believe that's where they really fall short, and that's why I wouldn't recommend running a K&N filter unless you're specifically running it for a performance application. If you're running it in your purpose-built drag car or something like that, then by all means. But for a daily driven vehicle, I just don't think it offers adequate filtration. And I highly recommend that you just run a good quality Wix paper filter like this. That's what I always choose, and I'm going to show you why here. So let's just peel this filter out here. It doesn't look like it's highly soiled or anything. The one thing I do like about them is they have a really nice rubber seal around them. They do always seal really good around the edges. See right there, you can see it's an authentic K&N. And I'm just going to hold it up to this really bright light here. Okay, just have a look at that. As I run it in front of the light bulb, do you see all those air holes in it? It's almost like you're looking through a window screen. See, it's got like a fibery membrane there, and it's so thin that there's places where there's just holes in it. And they claim that their special oil that you coat this with prevents the dirt from sneaking through those air gaps. I guess is the theory. And I don't really buy that myself. This one's well oiled, if you can see. And that's another issue. If you over oil them, or I believe even if you don't, but it can ruin your sensors, inline sensors there. It cakes them with oil. With this, it's probably not a big deal because it's a turbo car and it's going straight into the turbo, but with a car with a MAF airflow sensor here or something like that, you're going to have problems, and I have in the past. I actually had a Lincoln Town car that had one of these filters in it, and I had to replace all the sensors, and they were all dripping with oil when I took them out. So I have just cracked this air box open just moments ago to do this video, and I went to wipe out the lid, and that's what prompted me to do the video. So I really haven't touched the lid here yet, and we'll just get it under the real bright light here, and you can get a look at it before I start wiping. I've got a white baby wipe actually that I'm going to wipe that all out with and show you just how much grit is in there. It's truly ridiculous, and this is not small grit. Just listen to it on my fingertip here when I rub it. Of course, I don't think that shows up well on the audio on the camera. Anyways, we're going to go through here and just wet wipe this all out here. I got this clean baby wipe. It hasn't touched anything, and we're just going to and that's not to mention all the grit that's around the edge there, but I guess you could argue that that didn't make it past the seal. but this has. I'm just wiping just in here. I'm not coming out onto the lip here or anything like that. It's just what's in the inside the upper part of the box where the filtered air has come through. And just look at all that. I don't think it shows how dramatic it is on camera, but this is just loaded with grit. Look at that, my finger was clean. I mean, these are big particles of basically sand, and that's going directly into your engine. And this is not a blind comparison. I've serviced several of these PT Cruisers that have just run a paper element air cleaner like that, and I've never found this kind of grit in the lid here. Sometimes you'll get like a really fine dust in here, but to actually find these big chunks of grit, I've only actually experienced that before with K&N Filters. It's kind of scary because that's straight into the turbo, and bet you I can get some grit out of the turbo intake tube here too. It's all gritty in there. So we're going to finish wiping this all out and cleaning it all up, and we'll go ahead and install this Wix filter. And this K&N filter, it can go in the garbage. That's where it belongs. Thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day. I just wanted to add a quick note at the end here. Although I am hating on K&N filters here a bit, I'm not necessarily saying that all aftermarket filters are junk. In fact, my little 240SX over there, I purchased a full InGen intake system for it, including their dry element cold air intake filter there. And so I'm going to give that a try, and I'll give you guys some honest feedback once I get that installed on the car and try it out. There's a lot of brands out there. It just seems like K&N is kind of the big name. So I'd encourage you, if you are looking for a performance air filter system, maybe look into some other brand names. And go ahead and leave in the comments if there's some other brand names that you think are better than K&N. And let me know what you think, because I don't actually have a lot of experience with aftermarket filters. I just know I've bumped into a bunch of these K&N filters and I haven't been impressed.